Welcome everybody to episode 8 of Tales from the Tackle Shop. And what we're doing, we're confusing everybody because we've done two weeks running. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or 2 consecutively.
Yep.
The reason being is that we're trying to catch up with Winter League results.
We are, yeah.
So just so you guys are going to be really mega confused, there won't be a podcast next week. There'll be one the following week, and then we'll do one every 2 weeks as per, because it kind of fits in with what we need to do. So, yeah, extra one this week, basically because we've got lots of things to show and Winter League results to catch up on. We may have some Winter League results from around the country.
Hopefully, yeah.
But I gave the guys about 10 minutes notice. So...
As organised as ever.
As always, yeah. Mega organised. So if at the end I have got some extras from the lads, then it's because they've been brilliant and done one on the spot. But as it's Monday night, we won't know what's coming until tomorrow evening. So
no.
we'll
just roll with
see
it.
at the pants, which is the best thing to do. Right, before we get on to our guest.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few things to talk about. First thing I suppose is it's cold. I'm in my house, obviously. I had to put the heating on.
It's because you're tired, aren't you?
I am tired. I tried to get to November, and I gave in, so I even put a coat on. It is Baltic outside.
I don't think it's that cold. I don't know. I've still got shorts on.
Yeah, but you have got a cold.
Maybe.
And you do work really hard. So I suppose, obviously, you work hard and keep the warmth in that way.
Something like that, I suppose.
Us men of leisure. Getting old.
Retired, yeah. Full-time anglers.
Perhaps I feel the cold more. But no, seasons are changing, aren't they?
They certainly are. Everyone's getting in their routine of Monday to Friday, aren't they? And it's like, all of a sudden, Christmas is starting to appear everywhere. Well, Halloween first, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
That gets bigger and bigger every year, from what I see.
I saw a pop-up coffin in Tesco's yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, it's, you know these round pop-up things you get? I looked at it, I thought, that looks weird. I was going to buy one, just as a laugh. And then I thought, that's a bit macabre, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was a Halloween pop-up coffin. But yeah, there's crap everywhere. Soon be Easter eggs. Before Christmas ends, yeah. You've noticed something with the match results, with the seasons changing.
Yeah, so it's always about this time of year where the fish migrate. So 1 week the match results are amazing. It's like everyone's catching loads of fish. And then the next week everyone's blanking. And it's like, that's the nature of the beast in this area. I know we bang on about it every year, but the fish are migratory fish. So you could go to one venue one day and next day they're gone. And that'll be it till next year. What
do you think's the I'll say the worst venue? I don't mean that in a bad way, but the venue that displays that behaviour the most, or venues?
They all have it, and all the drains, like, I would say, probably the first one to go was the 20 foot out of all of them.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, so Shepson's Bridge is normally the earliest to go, and then as the fish move through the 20 foot into, like, then they go down Creek Cottage. You might have a week where Creek Cottage is really
What, you
good.
reckon those fish from Shepson's go into town?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I think a lot of the middle level fish go into town as well.
They definitely migrate. Because before the aqueduct gates were taken out, that volume of fish never came into March Town Centre.
They are.
And as soon as and the pike fishing, when those gates were removed, some really big pike came out 2 or 3 years later because the fish could migrate further.
Yeah.
They got used to coming down further.
Yeah.
So on that stretch where the gates were, some big fish started to appear. Where I think before they were stuck in the old King's Lynn side, and no one fished from, so no one knew.
Yeah.
So as soon as the gates were taken out, sadly those fish no longer exist. They've gone, long gone.
Yeah.
But that's how I know that this migration happens.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced it does.
I think middle level, 16 foot, they all move through there into March now.
Well, 16 foot's a weird one.
It's never any good, but for pike or an odd big tench, an odd big bream.
How many rudder in there though?
Yeah.
But where do they go in the winter? Do they?
Who knows? Rudder of a rare species on there in itself, and
Yeah.
This time of year is absolute rud central, isn't it? All the drains when they're moving, they're hungry. They're sort of they're not bothered about hooks. They just want to feed because they've either moved or they're going to move, so they just want as much food as possible. But so 20 foot normally goes the quickest, and then they might shoal up at one of the bridges, either footbridge or chain bridge. It depends every year, or Beggars Bridge. There's quite a few there. The fish move. Cormorants move them and hold them up at certain bridges, I think, and all depends. And I think because of the rain we've had as well, the cormorants have sort of pushed more inland again. It's like the fish migrate and the cormorants know, and they're on it straight away. It's really weird. Tiered is another one. For as long as I can remember, you get basically end of September, and it's just like a ticking time bomb for when the fish are going to move. At Main Road, this is. So normally in the summer, Main Road's brilliant. And then you fish one match, and no one gets a bite. It's like, oh, they've gone then. And then they used to follow the fish down the drain pretty much. They used to go like Main Road, then they'd go to like New Cut or Black Dyke, then New Cut, Harold's Bridge, and then all the fish would end up down at Cloud Bridge pretty much and go down Swan. But they don't seem to be doing that anymore. But
is it because it's too shallow?
I don't know. Or the volume of fish just aren't there like they used to be. Yeah. 40 foot same. Like Ramsey St Mary's on the Old Nene, the fish will migrate either into Raveley or into there. Factory Bank, the fish, if it's flowing, tend to go into the marina. Sometimes they'll come out. So again, that's another venue that is not particularly good in the summer, but is brilliant in the winter. Narrows, the Narrows is so silty now though. I think it gets worse every year, and it is so full of weed. I mean, they're on about all this dredging and doing all this. Well, that's the first place I would dig, because it's so shallow now.
When you say Narrows, where do you mean?
Ramsey 40 foot Narrows.
Right.
Yeah. That used to be about 8-9 foot deep. It's about 3 foot deep now. Just full of silt and full of weed.
I fished Chew at the weekend, Chew Valley Reservoir, and talking to the wardens there, I was amazed how shallow lots of it have got over the years, because obviously we're using maps to map it out, and big reservoirs silt up really badly. Yeah. So that's getting really badly silted up in areas as well.
It's mad, isn't
it? It is crazy how the wind
pushes everything one way.
Yeah,
it is mad.
And also got the flow in the drains as well.
It's like, it's talking about silt, like at the lakes at work, Jay's probably 15, 16 years old now, and it's silted up so much that this January we're desilting it. And it's frightening how much wind, the wind and sediment and bait and fish crap and everything else that goes in, erosion, and it soon shallows out.
Yeah, crazy. Because I used to try and work out these fish migrations. Obviously, back in the day, we used to pipe fish the drains, and I had a theory, and I felt that the fish. It was two reasons. I think the fish genetically knew to get away from the point of which was closest to the tidal part of that river, or the tidal entrance, because I think salt comes up, not necessarily through the water, but it can get through the land. It can leach. So as we get more salty tides, and I think the soil gets saturated, and I think it actually goes into the water. So I think the fish know that and have moved away from it. And also, it seems like, bizarrely in the winter, you think they go to deep water. No, they go to shallow water. They like more shallower water in the winter on these drains than deeper. Yeah. And actually, you think, why is that? Is it because it's warmer? Is it because there's more food? I don't know. I mean, you look at the town here. Why do they come in here? Is there more food for them? There must be, I suppose. Or is it cover? Is it protection?
It's everything.
It must be everything, isn't it? Yeah. It's their home, so they would know. Obviously, we're just guessing. But all these migrations are really interesting. If you kind of have got a handle on it, and you can stay one step ahead. I mean, it's too late now. I used to bounce on one particular water. I used to bounce down the bridges and catch really nice perch as all the bait fish were coming through. Obviously, the perch were following them. I think I've missed it now, because it normally happens in September. And if you got it right, you weren't going to catch big perch, but you caught a lot. Like over 100 fish in about 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. It was crazy, because all the bait fish that were there. But a bit of local knowledge certainly does help. But trying to work it out as well. The one place, the 10 mile, seems to be the one.
10 mile, yeah. 10 mile on the Ouse. A lot of people say, they move into Ely Town. Well, not being funny, if they all move into Ely Town, I know it's top 5 deep, but the fish would be out of the water if they were all in there.
Yeah.
Because there's 10 miles of river there.
We got the Wissy. You've got the little ones. You've got the lark. They must move up there.
I think what happens there is certain fish do migrate, but I just think they just stop feeding. I think they just sit in a massive shoal and just move depending on the tide, the flow and stuff like that. I think they just sit in a massive shoal.
I think bream do that.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I think I've told you guys on here that back in the day when I used to track the bream shoals in the winter, I used to find them in small pods about November time.
Yeah.
And suddenly there'd be this mass group of one big shoal of bream. And every day I'd find them, well, not every day, every time I fished this particular area, I'd find them in the same spot beginning of the day. And then they'd literally move down with the flow. And you used to use my dead bait floats, you get line bites. And you were like a mile below where they would be, beginning of the day. You get line bites like mid-afternoon as the bream were moving through your lines. And then the next day, if I went past my boat again with a side imaging unit, I'd see them in exactly the same place. And I think they just I think the bream, they don't, because they're big-bodied, they get cold. Their metabolism is really low in the winter.
Yeah.
And I think in the summer and autumn, they have to move away from the big shoal because they need food.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not enough food to sustain that size of shoal. It's impossible. So I think they're often these little pods. And I think they then group up for protection. And I think in the cold of winter, they just go torpid.
Yeah.
You're not going to catch them because they're just not feeding. And then, I noticed this as well, you get to the end of January, the big shoal would just dissipate. And you'd find little pods again. And I think they were going off to feed and getting ready for spawning, to pack on a bit of weight and get the spawn produced inside them. Obviously, I don't know. It just seemed to make perfect sense. To back that up, I'm going to sneeze. On the Erne 2 weeks ago, we were getting really confused when we were trying to find these pike because we kept seeing really big bream, but they weren't in groups. They were like in 2s and 3s. And sometimes it would be pike in 2s and 3s, and sometimes it was 2s, 3s, 4s of pods of these really big bream. They're about 6 or 7 pounds on these bream. So I looked a couple, so I know how big they were. And I think they were doing the same thing. It was transitional time. I think these small pods of bream were starting to move through the system, and they obviously gather somewhere for the winter.
Yeah.
But we saw them everywhere, and it was like, holy crap! There's these bream are moving. You can see them actually moving down the river, through the part of the lake, the lock, I should say. So obviously not. It's going to be bream all over the countries doing similar things. But what do the rudd do? They can't just stay where they are because everything else moves. They must move as well.
I think they do, yeah. I think they go in marinas. I think last year with March, I think they go in and then they wanted to come out. They could come out and then they got locked out because obviously they were in loads of water and the marina shut its gate and I reckon they all locked out in the river and then obviously they've not gone back in. That's what I feel. That's why the bypass was so good last year. Because then rudd all come out in a big shoal to go wherever.
And the gate was down, wasn't it?
And the gate was down when they wanted to go back in.
But what about because there's so many rudd in the system?
Oh, every year there's more and more and more. I think as a match angler, rudd are going to be in years in the future. They're going to be such a key fish to sort of work out how they feed and to make the most of them. Mate. You are obviously, yeah.
Bread flake.
Yeah, obviously.
Can't go wrong. Middle of the winter.
We'll see on the March Open.
Can you imagine if I draw bunghole opposite the boat here?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Get my little lure rod out, size 4. £50 off the top.
Yeah.
Everyone will go, that's a new method.
Andy Page.
Don't forget, guys, I need rigs. I've got nothing. I've got to borrow. So do I need a couple of whips?
A pole and a whip, yeah.
Yours? Yeah. I ain't got anything.
I've got loads of gear.
Yeah, I know you have. You're loaded.
Yeah, a load of gear.
Do I need more than one net in case I fill it up?
Do you normally have a bucket, don't you? Put your fish in, you'll be like, I
tell you what, back in the day when I was a kid, I used to have to try and sew my holes up in the net because it was just falling apart all the time. Crazy.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I do need rigs though, boys, so send them in.
Andy Wilding. He apparently makes good rigs.
Does he?
Yeah.
Molly. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, he lives in your shop, doesn't he?
Yeah. He didn't this week, though.
Doesn't he?
I missed him.
He'd be there. He'll make up for it. You got some news about next year?
Yeah, so I'd see on Facebook a couple of weeks ago now that next year's Division 2 National is going to be on the Ouse at Littleport and Kings Lynn and 10 Mile Bank. So I think the date they planned is like the 27th of September. So that could be...
Peggy?
I think it's about... I'd like it a week earlier than that, or two probably, but I don't know. And also the Feeder National. So whether that's middle level as well, I'm not too sure. So I think there's a bit of work to be done there, but I know Ray's working behind the scenes to get it organised. So that'll be good, you know, and for the local area,
yeah.
hopefully middle level commissioners and environment agency and all the clubs can do a good job of having a good national, because it's perfect for national fishing. You know, it's deep, it's wide, parking's pretty good.
That's important for you boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got more gear than carp anglers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be good. That will be good.
Yeah.
That time of year, obviously, fish are on the move. So hopefully we don't have as cold a September as we had this year. If it's a warm September, it'll be fantastic fishing. Yeah. It really will. Yeah.
We've got phones going off left, right and centre.
Oh, my phone's pinging away. It's all...
Is it all your sales on eBay? Look, he's got distracted now.
Yeah.
He's sold a float.
I know, sold a float. So, yeah. What other things were we talking about? Not a lot, really.
No.
Not a lot going on, is there? It's all...
Well, it probably is. We haven't paid any attention whatsoever.
No.
Should we get onto this thing first?
Yeah, so that was a little while ago, this. So that would have been the 16th of September, something like that.
So who won it then?
So this is the Eastern Region Shield. So it's always been an NFA match since 1969, is that right?
National Federation of Anglers?
Yeah, NFA, yeah, which obviously now is sort of the Angling Trust. And over the years, it's gone from a host of venues, and I'm sure a lot of people that listen to this or watch this can remember lots of matches where they've caught lots and caught not a lot as well. But there's some fantastic teams on here.
Go and read some out.
So obviously the obvious one is Essex County. They've won it probably 4 or 5 times. There's Billericay. We've got...
We used to play rugby against
Newport
Billericay.
Pagnell. March have won it one year.
Census Mark 1.
Census Mark 1,
Maver
obviously.
Image.
By Maver Image, Matrix Image. I think Image have won it more than anyone. There's like Black Horse as well. Image Black Horse.
Amped Hill, I saw earlier.
Arcade Angling. Pro Rod Bedford. There's a lot of like that sort of area teams, and they do switch it about. It has been in this sort of area the last few years.
Did you say Great Yarmouth?
Great Yarmouth, boy. Do well, boy. And then, so yeah, it's pretty prestigious, and it's a big old trophy, and we've got 2 of these to go in somewhere.
Leighton Buzzard.
We won it last year, and we won it this year. So last year was on the Neen, or Nen, and this year was on 10 Mile Bank and middle level.
So what happened on the day?
So they had a bit. Ray organised some practice matches, and they fished really well. And come them round, middle level switched off completely. I think the fish were either moved or some real weird moon patterns and tides and some weird spooky shit going on around that couple of weeks. The weather, we had frosts and all sorts, so everything was against the venues. 10 Mile Bank was pretty good, to be honest. They had 3 sections on there. They had 1 section near the Wissy Mouth, and then 2 sections around Modney Bridge. And I think Pete Vasey won the match with, I'm going to say, about 9 kilo.
Was that one of the pictures you sent me?
No. He had about 9 kilo. I think the framing places all come from the same section. And then the bit that everyone wanted to draw was Neeps's Bridge on middle level.
Well, that's obviously been... That's a strange place. That fishes really well on crap.
Yeah. So they had 2 open matches, and it won. Like the Sunday before, I think Kev Green won the match for about 23 or 24 pounds.
Decent sized skimmers.
No, there's a few, but like nice, like pommies, silvery bream, roach, perch, tench. It was all there. It was black. Do you know what I mean? It was top to bottom of fish, piked a lot. And then come the actual day, Crooked Chimney was one with 1 tench and a basically little perch. Neeps is one with like 2 tench, I think, off the end peg. So everyone that was expected to catch £20 quart, just shy of. And then where I was at what's it called? I'm trying to think. St Peter's. I was at St Peter's where the car park is, and I think Jonathan Means caught his pet tench in the last 15 minutes next to me. Ruined a good match he did. Damien was second with, I think he had like a kilo. Did he have a kilo? Kilo and 50 grams. And I didn't have quite a kilo, I don't think. Or did I have a kilo? I had like 950 grams, something like that. All little perch. Went in the week for a bit of a practice, me and Ray, and sat literally 2 pegs away from where I drew. And pleasure fishing, we caught nothing, literally perch. So we knew it was going to be like that, and just fish perch everywhere, mate. Little perch like this, little perch.
You just catch them in the weed off the drop off.
Well, you catch a few there, but then they suss you out. So you have to have like little lines here, there, and everywhere. And it was hard. It was hard work, but it was quite enjoyable catching nearly a kilo of these little perch. Felt like I was on a canal. So yeah, it was a good match really. It was quite close. Diver, tackle and baits, we won it, which was good. Runners up who were runners up? Peterborough, I think. And third was the new Tackle and Bait Select team, which is a team we're running from the shop this year, which is sort of a development team. A couple of anglers have fished the venues before, but a lot of them haven't. So it's sort of a good way of anglers to come into our winter league and learn and fish the venues and have that team environment with meetings every week and stuff like that. So that's going really well. So they were well happy with that to come third. And then the following week is Winter League, so practice match. So we had, what we have?
How many teams are now in the Winter League?
8 teams.
So
now.
who is it now?
So there's Darwin Tackle and Baits, Tackle and Bait Select, which is the new form team. Sensors Hot Rods. It's hard to keep saying Sensors Hot Rods. We know it's because they've been Browning sponsored for so many years. It's so hard. Then you got Matrix Dynamite Image, Stan J Tackle, Sensors Mark 1 white, Sensor Mark 1 black, and then you've got a team called Maver, Bait Tech, Cresta, DT, Tesco's, Aldi, Asda. No, Maver, Bait Tech, Peterborough. They're just two teams, two manufacturers now. So that's the 8. So yes,
how many
really
last
competitive.
Year?
There were 7 last year, 8 this year.
Do you think you'll get to 10?
That'll be very hard. The only way we're going to get to 10 if other teams' leagues fold and they need a league to join and they allow them. But I'm not sure. I think 8 is comfortable with the venues. When you start getting 9 and 10, they might have to maybe, instead of having teams of 10, maybe switch it down to teams of 8.
Yeah.
Just for the venues to accommodate it. But yeah, so 80 peg Winter League for the next 12 weeks is...
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good.
That is
it is.
good, yeah.
It's a lot of commitment and stuff, but I think everyone in the area looks forward to it, to be honest. You know.
So I'd cut you off. So there's 8 teams in there. So where was the first one?
So the first round, or the first 2 rounds, is on Little Port Ouse and Ely Beach, so around Queen Adelaide and Sandals Bridge. So it's all top 5 venues, normally bowling in, catching like silvery bream, pommies, a few roach, there's rudd, there's odd bream, there's tench, there's eels, there's perch. And it's one of them venues, again, it's like, could go one week and it's fantastic, next week it's dog shit. The fish are just on the verge of either not feeding or moving, whatever. So we always try and have the practice match and 2 rounds back to back to accommodate it. The practice match fished brilliantly. Who won it? Oh, Bumhole Borden won it. He had 25-12 from the middle of Little Port. Caught like 200 roach and little pommies and stuff. Fantastic fishing. I was runner up with 25-10, so he done me by 2 outs, so well done. And I had sort of £20 of bits and pieces and I had sort of £5 of choppy perch and bits and bobs. So that was nice fishing. And then there was a There's £20 all over. I think like the top 10 had over £20.
Oh, that's good. Isn't
Fantastic
it? Yeah.
fishing, and we was worried about the venues because that night and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we had like biblical rain, so we're like, oh god, it's going to be in flood. But that ooze is so weird. Like just down the road, Welney's like as far as you can see is water, and Bedford's flooded, and all where you think the water comes from, it's mad. It just gets rid of the water just steadily. It never really. It obviously does flow, and we went and practiced on the Wednesday, and it was like proper flooding, swirling, and weed, and fishing was terrible. But come the actual match, it was absolutely perfect colour, just the right amount of flow. It was a good match. So I think match winner was. Who won the match? Come on. Oh, how could Lee Lawrence, Shabby Tat on the feeder. So he was in my section. He was in the middle of the two sections at Sandals Bridge. It's wider there. Not quite as deep, but a lot wider. And he's basically just fished a feeder across and caught like chunky rudd all day and had £28 dead. So he had a fantastic day's fishing. Runner-up was... Who was runner-up? Kev Green. He had 23.6, so he's been on fire at the minute, Kev. He was in D section, which is Queen Adelaide back towards the Lark outfall, shall we say. Right in the middle there, 23.6. Then Gary Miller had 22.12. He was on the MPEG there. Danny Grimsey had 21.11. He was near Lee, slightly to the left. And then Jack Demant was last in with £20.6. And then there was a £20.2. I think I had £19.6. So it was good fishing individually. There's a couple of areas that were a bit hard, but not as bad as what it was this week. So team-wise, it was really, really close, as it always is. Peterborough had a really good score of 27. So well done to Peterborough. They'd won the league. After one round they had.
Again?
Yeah.
They always do well early doors.
Never bag early.
And then fade away.
Well, hopefully this year they don't, because it'll make the league really, really competitive.
Have you got them in your pocket?
No.
That goes down in history, like Gav said.
Yeah,
that's never going to be forgotten.
So, every time I flick through Facebook, all I see was a picture of Maver Bait Tech all lined up outside the pub, giving it the big one. So I was like, good, fair play to him. John Means was like, no, we do this every year, boys. Just calm down. But no, hopefully they'll have, I think they will be as well. I think
top three go through?
It is top three, so there's 4 or 5 teams all fighting for that, and it'll be really close, I think. It always is. It'll go down to the last match.
Kicking the table.
So Peterborough first, just 1 point behind was Census Hot Rods, 28. Tackle and Baits were third with 35. 1 point ahead of Image. And then fifth was Stans, 43. Tackle and Bait Select, Mark 1 White both had 60. And then you had Mark 1 Black on 70. So that was round 1. And then immediately this Sunday just gone.
So no practice, back on it again.
Back on it. No one was allowed to practice in the week on the venue.
How does it get policed?
People know. People are about.
What happens if someone does?
So if someone does, they are. I think it works out that they score 8 points.
Right.
They get, or 9, as if you're blanked. I think.
Plus what they get in the match.
No, I think that's what they score. If that makes sense.
They get the lowest points in the section.
Highest points. As if they're blanked.
Yeah.
That's what I think they do. So round 2, everyone was like, we've had some sharp frost this week. Not as much rain. What's going to happen? The day before there was a match at Little Thetford on the Ouse, and that fished abysmal. So that gave us a good indicator of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So thanks Toddy for that information. So that sort of played a big part in our approach, put it that way. But it's one of the venues you've still got to be really aggressive at the start, because you never know. And how the match fished is like, and the stamp of fish was unbelievable. So winner of the day from MPEG at Sandals was Danny Mason. So after an hour, he's not caught nothing in the whole section. No one's caught nothing. Everyone was blanking, and everyone was like, oh God, this is standard. Ooze, we're going to be fishing down the edge for a bitterling, or one big fish is going to win this, or they just switch on the last half hour or whatever. Anyway, after an hour, people started to catch. And what fish they caught were massive roach, like big roach, proper skimmers. Basically everything that was caught the week before, no one caught. Every fish was really chunky. So I think Danny Mason had 133 fish for £34.13.
The picture looks impressive.
Oh, yeah. And then, so he had 34.13. Danny Grimsey again was on the same peg as he drew the week before, and he's got 2 pictures from the fish from the week before and the fish from this week. He's had like £2 less this week, but the fish are like twice the size, and he's had like a quarter of the fish.
How does someone get the same peg?
It's just completely random. I know.
What are the chances of
I
that?
know. So he had £19 free, and then Kev Green again in the frame, same anglers at Littleport, 17.11, and he's had 55 fish for 17.11. They're proper chunk fish, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they've not caught for an hour. Then it was Seal 3000.
How were the on the feeder?
On the pole.
On the pole,
yeah. Matt Page 16.13. He had his 2 mates.
Still getting called that.
Yeah, well, his 2 mates made appearance while they were fishing, while they were setting up. Yeah.
He tracks them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got the seal scent.
And then I think last in the frame was Gobber, Rob Wright, with 16.9, I think. Might be wrong on that. But yeah, so that looks brilliant, but most of it was pretty grim. My match was a case of balling it, go straight on it, and after 20 minutes I had a bite, and I've looked to my right and they've all caught straight away to my right. Not loads, like 5 or 6 fish and then nothing. And then I had a little spell where I caught like 8 or 9 fish quite quickly, and then nothing. And then you'd catch like, after basically 2 hours, I'd caught everything that was feeding in my peg. You know when you think that I'm just running out of fish, I'm setting up new lines longer. Basically, I'm just setting up worm lines, because the only thing you're going to catch until the last hour or 40 minutes if the fish move is going to be perch or an eel or a tench. So you're setting little traps everywhere, and like you're like a robot. I keep looking on these lines, and you're just like willing it to go under just to catch something. And I could see my section. I'm looking down the line, and I could see him, like the bloke on the end's getting one a bum, and no one else can get a bite. And then all of a sudden there'd be a little spell where they'd catch a couple of 3, like a little shoal would come through, and then they'd catch it. And I'm thinking they're never going to get to me, and they didn't. I weren't far away from having really good score, but the fish, you can't beat the draw sometimes. I mean, it was noticeably better the other end of the section. So, but yeah, well done Reese for winning, and Steve had a good weight at £4.2 from the section. They had like odd big rudd and just bigger roach and stuff. I had £2.4, and then Andy Mead had £2.5, and Graham had £2.6 and a half or whatever. So I was wounded. I'm absolutely wounded. And then poor old Simon next to me on the end, which is normally the boss peg nearest the bridge. It's like top 4 deep instead of full top 5, and it's been crap our end. It's really weird. I think Neil Adcock won one section with an eel first, like balled it and caught an eel straight away, and that was the only fish he had all day. And second in section was like 5 ounces or something stupid. A section, what was hard the week before, fished miles better. It's just one of them venues. What you think the week before could be totally different on the day. Littleport was Stevie Winters won Littleport with £14. He was the MPEG K8 nearest, obviously where the willows and that are, the trees and that are, and then it just got gradually worse, and the middle bit was just hard. It always is. It's this time of year, you know. The venue just does that. It's the nature of the beast. So teams on the day, out in front was Dial, Tackle and Baits with 31.
Even they had to carry you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did all right. Don't you worry. Image was second with 41. Third, well, we had 2 teams tied on 43, but then it goes on section countback. So I think both teams, which was Peterborough and Hot Rods, both had a section win each. Both had 2 section seconds each. But I think Peterborough beat them on section third, so they sneaked third spot ahead of Peterborough. And then 4, so they were equal.
So Peterborough third?
Yes, they were third. Hot Rods were fourth. Fifth with 44 points was Stanjay, so a point different. And then sixth was the tackle and bait select team with 45. So they were really unlucky not to, put a spanner in the works there. So well done, lads. They'd be happy with that. They will. Because, they know that this league's going to be hard, and a lot of them have never seen the venues before. So it's good. It's good to see. It's
good experience, isn't it?
Mark 1 white 53 and then Mark 1 black 59. So league as it's standing after 2 rounds is equal first is Darwa Tackle and Baits and Maver Bait Tech Peterborough with 4. Equal third is Image and Hot Rods on 6. Stan JF 10, Tackle and Bait Select 12, Mark 1 White 13, Mark 1 Black 16. So there's it's already shaping up to be very, very tight and
as
close.
Always.
Yeah, always, as always.
Yeah.
So that's our leagues up to date. And then locally, again, the matches are all just starting. So Ramsey have started their Wednesday matches.
Tell me they haven't been to.
Both matches. They've got one venue now. This is how sad the venues are. There's March, Ramsey St Mary's, and there's Benwick. That's it. So that's where the fish, But this time of year now is when we sort of get a bit of a picture of where the fish are starting to hold up. Like there'll be a few fish maybe at Ravenley this time of year, and then all of a sudden we have too much rain and then no one catches anything. And yeah, it's a weird time of year for us Fenland anglers. As you can tell, I've got a cold as well, by the way. I do apologise.
You're doing very well.
Yeah.
You haven't snotted on the mic yet.
Not yet, anyway. Impressed. So Colgate Keith done the double.
Oh.
The Wednesday and the Sunday double he did. So he won Wednesday's match with £11.7 from peg 1. Dave Steels was second from the M peg with 10.15, and then Ivan, the younger brother, he's actually older, with 9.11. And then on Sunday, Keith drew peg 2, so he moved a bit further away.
He had to move 15 yards.
We'll start calling him Kilby, M peg Kilby soon. He had £9.11, Norman Knightley £9.1, and then Ray Ellerton £4.13. So I don't know where they are this week, but I hazard a guess they will be back down there.
I'd put money on it.
Yeah. So the Whittlesey Saturday matches have started. Windmill Steve is organising them now.
Oh, good old boy.
Yeah. So they fished Popular Tree Bridge on the 20th.
He use his camera to see where the fish are?
No, he's not a cheater like you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Not allowed to do it in our matches.
He has his camera down on the flipper, doesn't he?
Yeah, but you can't use it in matches.
No, to see where to put the matches on.
Oh, right, okay.
To suss out the venues.
Yeah, could do.
Yeah.
Could do. I don't think he will, but he certainly could do. So out in front was Neil Bettany with £8.13. Runner-up was Jay Burton with £8. And then himself, Steve Smith, £5.1. So that's not too bad. And then I think this week they're going to Ravenley this Saturday, so that'd be interesting. Yeah. Could be good, could be shy.
Only one way. They must have inside info.
Maybe, I'm sure they do. It's comfortable fishing there. I mean,
Bob in on it.
As a venue, when there's fishing there, you can't get much more comfortable than that. 13 metres wide, nice depth, park behind your peg. Bit of mud, but where ain't mud? Do you know what I mean? And then the Tuesday Club. So they've been fishing Shepson's Bridge on the 20th quite a bit. The access is great down there, or sewage works, some people might know it as.
Or shit slide.
Shit slide, whatever you want to call it. It's fantastic fishing in the summer. They've been catching some big weights throughout. But this week, the fish have moved. Funnily enough. Brian Bettany, £3.8. Is that right? Yeah. What was it? Brian someone, anyway.
If you can see this right, Alex has got. You can see this kind of.
Arthur Smallman, £2.
It's kind of like. Ugh. It doesn't say anything. It just goes.
Yeah, but I have to guess because they don't write. They just put John, Bob, Jim.
But mate, you haven't even. Nobody on this planet can decipher what surname you put there.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's hieroglyphics again, isn't it?
Yeah, and then there was a tie for 4th, which was Tony Fenn, and don't know what
Roger?
that actually says. No, I don't know what it says. Yeah, Roger. 115. So it's probably not Roger, but I would have Roger. with equal with
So
115.
did you write that or someone else?
No, I wrote this down,
Oh,
but
my
I think
Lord.
I was answering the phone at the same time. And
Multitasking, mate.
Yeah. So this Tuesday, which was yesterday when the podcast comes out, they're going to the March bypass. So
I saw anglers on there.
Yeah.
What day is it? It's Monday today, isn't it?
Yeah, there'll be more and more anglers now. Yeah. This Sunday, our Winter League's on there, so there's 60 odd pegs at Benwick and 30 odd pegs on the March bypass.
Oh, that's early.
Yeah, but it's best time to fish it. It's absolutely rigid.
Is it?
Yep. Absolutely rigid.
Well, the bypass is rigid.
So I'll draw Benwick about
you always get
past
Benwick.
Little London somewhere. I'll have a nice day's fishing, but then I'll go back to the pub and they go, oh, what you got, Danny? £60. Oh, what you got, Gav? £50. Oh, what you got, Winters? £40. Oh, right, okay.
You're not bitter at all, are you?
No, I'm not bitter. I know it's the law of fishing gods, isn't it? You just know.
Mate,
how'd you get on, Danny? Oh, I fished 3 tears and 5 to hand, and then I went to 7 to hand. Oh, right, okay. How'd you get on, Gav? Oh, I just fished tears all day, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Not sweet corn.
No, not yet. Shh, don't tell everyone about sweet corn. God, they'll all be on it.
Bread flake, floating crust.
Well, yeah. So that is all the results I've got this week. I know Tid Club had a match, and that was pretty abysmal, which is a shame. It happens. And I think the same for Hull Beach. I think their match was quite tough as well. Everyone caught in the weekend come Sunday. And I think what you're saying about the salt and things, I think gets it through the soil.
Does, yeah.
And stops it from...
Particularly the Holland's worse than North Level, but they're both bad. But Holland's got this wooden gates where it goes into the knee. And it's like, oh, holy crap. But North Level, you've got that... just the other side of the pumps, you've got that dirty, salty water. It's got to leach through the soil.
It has to,
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to. I think that's just part of the parcel, isn't it? But,
yeah.
So what you got planned this weekend?
I'm fished out.
Oh,
so
fished out.
Went to Chew. That was all right. I think we came 5th. Bit disappointed with that.
Yeah.
We were top 3 of an hour to go. We only did one half decent fish. We'd have been 2nd probably. But ended up 5th. That's all right. I had a good time. I had 3 curries on the bounce in the old Stoke Inn.
Yeah.
Mate, I need to detox.
Yeah.
I feel like a crap. I really do. Just eating pub food, Guinness, curries. And,
nice.
Fishing wise, got to do a YouTube vid at some point this month. That's about it, really.
Right.
I need to sort of have a few weeks off.
What, fishing? You're all fished out?
Yeah, I feel fished out.
Yeah.
Can't get going. My van's still full of gear. Got to get it in. But I've lost direction.
You don't know what day of the week it is,
do you?
You mean you need to get in your routine?
Yeah, I need to get into a routine.
It's that time of year where everyone gets in their winter routine, don't they?
Yeah, kind of like I'm discombobulated. I don't know what I'm doing.
Everyone gets home early and...
Yeah.
Oh, ain't the traffic bad at the minute?
Where did I go the other day?
Oh,
it just was...
God.
It's
horrendous.
I went to the physio, right? And I had to be there for 6 in Hull Beach Drove.
Yeah.
So it takes me about 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I left it at 5.
Yeah.
Well, bugging me, I was late. Just stuck. Can't even get out of March.
The thing is, it's not March. March ain't... I know we keep slagging it. It's not too bad, to be fair, the new traffic system. It's going all right, I think.
Well, just anywhere with too many people. They need to
it's
bugger
the
off.
main roads. I mean, the Chatteris to March Road, the 141, or the 142, or tractors and trailers.
Too many people, mate.
Is it MVAR or MVAR?
We need a cull.
They just... And they keep toppling over. One was on fire the other week. The other... I mean, they drive like idiots, don't they? Absolute idiots.
Yeah, but we live in the fens. The tractors are all right.
No, but it's this time of year. I don't know who they get to drive them, but they...
We've got too many people. That's the problem. Definitely too many people.
Yeah.
I'll say something off air about too many people.
Yeah, okay.
It's a bit shocking. I can't... this is top secret.
Top secret.
There are too many people in the country.
Yeah.
And we don't know how many people are here. It's scary.
Yeah.
Our resources are being stretched to the limit.
They certainly are.
Yeah. Right. So, guys, we're going to come back in 2 weeks' time. Now, this might be where the Yidite and co, Chavy,
Yeah.
he might wear the shirt, he told me.
So it's Winter League time again, and I'm back to report on the Upper Thames League as I did last year. Richard Shave fishing for Garbly and Blackmore Vale, although after this weekend's result, I'm not sure I really fished very much at all anyway, but less of that. But the river fished fairly well considering it was racing through in gin clear, which is really odd. Normally flooded rivers are dirty, but this is just horrible. The Radcott up where I was, there was like people were catching single fish. There's a blank up there, but the bottom end fish a lot better. And that's where the eventual winner came from. The winner was Ian Shepherd, Shep, the Evesham regular, hemp man. But this week he caught some chub. He had 3 chub and some smaller ones on the feeder and on the float as well. Shep's weighed in £14, 8 ounces. Second place was, let me think this, Kevin Rolls. Kevin was also at Radcott up. Radcott down. Kev's weighed in £9.10. He's got a lot of roach on the stick float, so he's had a nice day. Not far behind him, PC Plod, or ex-PC Plod, Martin Barrett from Thatchers, Preston Innovations Thatchers. Martin's had £9.8. He's also caught on the stick float. In fourth place, let's have a look at this. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. It was Sean, who was it? Sean Townsend, Preston Innovations Thatchers. Sean weighed in £8.30. He's a Bristol lad. He's got a great big bream, so that's what they do, you know. But well done to Sean. He's in fourth place. In fifth place, Ian Pawley. He was the only angler who weighed in a reasonable weight up, Radcott up. Ian's caught some chub. I think on the pole feeder, or the flat float Ian caught on. Ian's weighed in £8, 3 ounces. He's a former Division 1 national winner. And coming up in sixth place was our very own Rob Randall, too hot to handle. Rob's had £6, 9 ounces. It was pretty dismal. Where I was, I had a single dace. There was 3 people with single dace in my single fish in my section. I was the lowest one, so there we go. There's a blank in the section above, and again it was single fish up there as well. It was basically a river of 2 halves. So down to the teams. Who's going to go up and visit Alex and Andy up in March this year? So far, the early leaders are Thatchers. Thatchers had a wonderful result, coming with 29 points. In second place was Census Devices. Devices had 25. There was then a tie for third. There was my team, Garblina Blackmore Vale and Matrix Talisman, both on 23. We had 2 section wins, thankfully, so we came in third, Matrix fourth. And in the last place, last year's winners, Division 1 national champions, new improved Darwood Gordon League, unfortunately had 19 points. A lot of sad faces around at the results afterwards, but I'm sure they'll kick our ass later in the rounds. But yeah, next round's on the Bristol Avon. We've already had a practice match. It was again flooded, but this time like a typical river, it was dirty. There was £20 of perch on the block end feeder won that one, and then some chub. So Mike Withy won it with £20, and Ian Dunlop, one of our lads, had £19 of chub on the waggler. So they both had some nice fishing. There's quite a few double figure weights, so it's obviously going to fish hopefully better than the Thames did. So there, that rounds it off really. Look forward to doing some more results for you, and listen to everybody else's. See ya, bye. Over and out, Motty.
I was going to let him because I haven't had a chance to take the mick out of him at all. Haven't got the Arsenal shirt on today, but it will come out. So I think Chavy's doing something. Ben, maybe?
Yeah, Ben, yeah.
We've got a new guy.
Yep, from Colmick Northwest.
Martin Earlham.
I don't personally know Martin, but...
A.K.A. River.
What?
That's his nickname.
River?
Yeah. Don't know why.
Right.
Maybe he fell in. But Simon Mottram's taking a back seat this year.
Maybe we'll get insight into why they call him River.
We'll ask him. Yeah, so Motty's not about, but he'll still be part of the gang.
Yeah.
He's there or thereabouts. And
Steve Barnett.
We haven't heard from Steve, have we?
Yeah. I know they've had a couple of rounds of their Winter League, so...
I don't know what he's doing. He's obviously busy in the shop, mate.
Yeah.
So we'll hear from him soon.
Liverpool doing well, so I'm sure we'll put something on there.
Happy, isn't he?
Liverpool fans always comment when they do well, don't they?
Yeah, they're sort of fair weather supporters, aren't they?
Yep.
A bit like the old Spudneys.
A bit annoying sometimes, aren't they?
I'll tell you, as an Arsenal fan, having Spurs fans as your local rivals is brilliant.
Is it?
They're the gift that just keep giving. What's their motto? To dare is to do.
Yeah. What
does that mean? It's like listening to Kamala Harris. She comes out with crap quotes as well.
Who?
To dare... You don't see the American... Oh, don't you? Don't start.
I don't watch American shit.
To dare is to do.
Right.
What? I don't even know what that means.
No.
Can you tell me?
No.
No. Chavy? Any idea? Matt Page, any idea? John Taylor, all those crew. What about
Anyone else?
What about Big Nose?
Steve Ryan?
Big Nose, has he said anything this week? Did he fish this week?
He did, yeah.
How'd he get on?
He did a master performance to come third in his section with 3 ounce, I think.
Bitterling?
No, they were a little bit bigger than Bitterling, but they were this big.
Translucent perch, were they?
He gave me his bait order, right? And he had all this bait, and I'm waiting for him in the morning because he's always the last one there. Well, no, he's not that late, but he turned up and I went, "You see all that bait?" He goes, "Where have I drawn?" So we see all that bait, give it all back because you won't need it. He just went, oh, where am I? Oh, B section. Oh, yeah, it was tough, but that's how.
But you guys knew beforehand, did you? It was going to be tough.
Yeah, certain bits. Yeah. So
Cool. Right, like I said, we're going to have to wrap this up. Before we go, so we'll get the boys in now if it happens. So now we're going to wrap it up. We don't even know if they've appeared.
Yeah.
So what's on for next week?
So next week is this Sunday is the practice match at Bennicum, March, and then the following week, which we'll discuss in next week's podcast, is round 3.
2 weeks' time.
Yep, in 2 weeks' time, and we might have some chip shop awards for them as well.
What we haven't even discussed what we're doing about. Have you got any t-shirts left?
I've got some more coming.
Have you?
Yeah. Linny's going to do me some new
Oh,
ones.
I'm so off pace.
Yeah, well, the first week there was quite a few could have had a chip shopping award. Gavin Butler got chip shop. Simon Godfrey got chip shop. Gobber got chip shop. Oh, mate, I definitely would have run out of t-shirts if we were giving
Have you
out
awarded
awards.
any, or are you just going to hold them on?
No, I think the fact that everyone polices it themselves now, I don't need to
Oh.
They ring me up. Oh, did you see you got chip shop this week? Yeah, I did. Yeah. So it's it's one of them really.
So we're not going to start till round 3.
I think this week I haven't really looked at the results for a chip shopping, but there will be one.
We've got to come up with something. It's good the t-shirts are coming back, but what we need to have something else. But do we need like the ultimate chip shop? So give them like a
I think
something.
I think you get chip shop 3 times.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Or if you get chip shop by certain people,
I think that's good. I think that could be
like
the next
pricey
award.
chip shops you twice, the same person. What do you reckon?
We'll have to come up with something
Bag
like
pussed. You
that.
get bag pussed.
Bag pussed off the next peg, but Price is pretty confident angler, so a lot of people.
Yeah, but he can take the banter.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll have to come up with an
Yeah.
award.
Guys could let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not talking about flat floats either.
No.
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 Don't know nothing about flat.
No. What are they?
Don't know.
No. Have you ever
Don't
seen
need-
one?
No, never seen one.
No. No. Should we go?
Yeah, let's go.
Right, guys, 2 weeks' time. See you later. Hopefully with some chip shop awards.
Yep. See ya.